Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into the absolute ultimate biological what-if human flight. You know, we've all looked up at the sky at some point and wondered what it would be like to just take off, totally untethered by gravity and machines. But instead of just indulging in a sci-fi fantasy, we're going to break down exactly what it would cost us biologically, environmentally, and societally if humanity actually took to the skies.
Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering you've grown wings. It's an incredibly seductive idea, isn't it? Millions of us with giant feathered wings just soaring between skyscrapers, bathed in that perfect cinematic sunrise. It honestly sounds like a total utopia. But, well, when we look past the romance of the idea and really examine how it holds up to scientific and structural reality, things get pretty complicated and fast.
The immediate appeal is totally undeniable. No planes, no traffic, just flight. Picture a world where we can simply leap from our rooftops and glide effortlessly right over the morning gridlock. No more miserable lines at airport security, no more bumper-to-bumper highway traffic, just absolute, unhindered freedom. It's an amazing thought, right? But here's the catch. Nature always demands a physical price. You don't just get to strap on wings and defy gravity without fundamentally changing the vehicle that carries them. And in this case, that vehicle is the human body.
Part 1. The harsh biological reality.
To actually support enormous wings capable of lifting human body weight, our standard anatomy has to undergo a massive transformation. A normal human frame simply cannot generate the lift required no matter how hard you flap. Our shoulders would literally need to widen drastically just to accommodate the complex musculature of wing joints. And our dense, heavy bones, they'd need to become entirely hollow, just like a bird's. We'd have to sacrifice a ton of our natural durability just to become significantly lighter. We wouldn't just be humans with wings, we'd be an entirely new anatomical hybrid.
So a successful takeoff isn't just about bolting on some new appendages, it requires a systemic, total redesign. Beyond those hollow bones, we would need absolutely massive chest muscles just to push against the air and generate lift. Evolution would ruthlessly strip away any unnecessary mass. Your overall body weight would have to plummet, which basically means humanity would be skipping leg day forever just to stay as light as possible.
And of course, this wouldn't be some magical overnight mutation. It would take thousands of years of grueling genetic adaptation. We'd start way back in the ancient era with tiny, basically useless wings. Then, for millennia, we'd go through this awkward phase of merely gliding. Early humans jumping from trees or cliffs, using rudimentary wings just to stretch out their leaps. It would take relentless natural selection to finally bring us to a modern, fully winged, aerodynamically optimized civilization.
Part 2. Redesigning cities for the sky.
If our bodies change that drastically, our entire built environment has to completely flip to match it. Cities would be constructed exclusively for the sky, essentially leaving the ground level behind. Traditional paved roads? Completely obsolete. They'd be replaced by designated air highways winding right through the skyscrapers. The whole concept of a front door flips upside down. Ground-level entrances would be abandoned in favor of rooftop landing pads. And cars would vanish entirely, replaced by massive, organized flows of flying human traffic. This totally transforms our daily routine. Think about it. Flying police patrolling the air lanes, or sky delivery workers dropping packages straight onto your 40th floor balcony. Imagine grabbing lunch at a floating restaurant. Or, honestly, the absolute sheer terror of dropping your scalding hot morning coffee onto some poor commuter flying a few hundred feet below you. And on a serious note, if someone suffers a health issue mid-flight, we'd need specialized emergency responders who can actually catch and rescue exhausted citizens directly out of thin air.
Part 3. Hidden dangers in the clouds.
Now, as amazing as it sounds, the sky is a truly hostile frontier. Imagine commuting to work and suddenly getting caught in a nasty storm. Lightning becomes a severe, everyday hazard when you are essentially a giant flying lightning rod. Add in freezing high-altitude temperatures. You definitely couldn't fly up to the clouds in just a t-shirt. Plus, flying is an intense, non-stop cardio workout, making muscle failure in mid-air a genuinely fatal prospect. Combine all that with the terrifying risk of high-speed collisions in crowded airspaces and the very real threat of large aerial predators, the sky is beautiful for sure, but it is incredibly deadly.
Also, the physics of this new world are ruthlessly unforgiving. Something as mundane as a heavy backpack would completely ground you. You can't just lug a 50-pound bag of groceries home from the store. The weight-to-lift ratio is just way too fragile. This strict physical limitation changes how we transport goods entirely. And with these massive new appendages comes some serious new vulnerabilities, giving rise to a completely new medical field. We'd have specialized doctors exclusively treating broken wings, torn flight muscles, and bizarre high-altitude injuries.
Part 4. A New Airborne Society.
So, zooming out, everything from our jobs to our downtime would evolve. We'd see the birth of entirely new wing fashion, clothing designed to fit around wings, alongside ultra-lightweight aerodynamic custom backpacks. We'd need radically wing-friendly architecture with wide sweeping hallways just to prevent indoor collisions. Because let's face it, just putting on a shirt in the morning with an 8-foot wingspan would be a total logistical nightmare. Entertainment shifts to massive hovering sky festivals, and traditional airports, totally a thing of the past when your entire family can just migrate across the horizon under your own power.
Which brings us to the philosophical core of all this. Would humans truly be happier in this reality, or would new problems simply replace the old ones? Yes, we gain the ultimate physical freedom, soaring above the Earth in these beautiful sunset flights. But every freedom has a cost. The sheer physical exhaustion, the new predators, the violent storms, the incredibly fragile hollow bones. Is this unbelievable physical liberation ultimately worth the perilous and exhausting trade-offs that nature demands?
I want to leave you with this final, thought-provoking question. Knowing the sheer physical effort, the bone-chilling cold, the constant, looming danger, and the intense anatomical sacrifices required, if you suddenly grew wings tomorrow, would you really fly every day? It's a fascinating thing to ponder. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the incredible mechanics.